Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, I'm Yumi Fardila Listari
And I'm Azizah Saswandila.
We are from Group 3
And we are going to practice about the basic teaching skills, especially about
Explanation skill.
Let's check it out. Hello students, welcome to this class on Pythagorean theorem. What is the Pythagorean theorem? Let's touch on a little bit of mathematics history here. So, the Pythagorean theorem is named after an ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician named Pythagoras. Pythagoras discovered that in any right triangle, where two certain sides of the right triangle, also named as legs, with lengths A and B, and the third is the longest side of the right triangle. And this longest side of the right triangle is also known as the hypotenuse and has the length of C. Then, the following relationship is always true. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. So, the sum of the length of two certain sides of the right triangle is equal to the square of the length of the longest side of the right triangle. So, this equation is well known as the Pythagorean theorem. As a note here, that this equation only applies to right triangle.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so hello students, how are you today? Fine, Alhamdulillah. Okay, today we will listen about two-dimensional figure. Before that, do you know what two-dimensional figure looks like? Triangle? Yes, that's right. Our triangle, circle, square, and etc. Okay, now let's see what shape of that window. Square? Are you sure the shape of that window is square? Rectangle? Yes, the shape of that window is rectangle. Now, can you see what the characteristic of the rectangle? Like the number of sides of rectangle or number of angles of rectangle. Yes, that's right. The rectangle has four sides where two sides of rectangle of opposite sides are equal and parallel. Sides DC equal and parallel with sides AB, and sides DA equal and parallel with sides C.
So, before we move on to any practice problem, let's make sure that we really understand the properties of right triangle. For starters, a right triangle has one right angle equal to 90 degrees. As you see in the triangle I shaped, the small box represents the right angle.
Okay students, next we will explain to you about characteristic of square. The square has four sides are equal. You remember on your mind, the square has four sides are equal. And then the square has four right angles are equal to 90 degrees. The square has four right angles are equal to 90 degrees. Is it clear?
Okay students, this is our first practice problem where we have to find the missing length of a right triangle. And again, since this problem involves the length of a right triangle, we can use the Pythagorean theorem to solve it. A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Okay, let's start off by identifying which side is the hypotenuse. Okay, say that C, that is the side directly opposite the right angle. Okay, we don't know the value of C. Besides, we can label A and B as the legs of the right triangle. A and B. In this case, we can call A5 and B12. Okay? Now we can go ahead and then substitute 5 for A and 12 for B. Okay, now we are ready to use the Pythagorean theorem.
Hello students, how are you today? Fine? Alhamdulillah. Okay, today we will listen about two-dimensional figure. Before that, do you know what two-dimensional figure looks like? Yes, that's right. The two-dimensional figure like triangle, square, circle, and etc. No. In triangle, what the characteristic of the triangle?
Okay, instead of A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, we have 5 squared plus 12 squared is equal to C squared. Now, we know that 5 squared is equal to 25 plus 12 squared is equal to 144 and the rest is equal to C squared. Okay, 25 plus 144, yes, is equal to 169. Is equal to C squared. Okay, look that we don't need the C squared. We only need the C itself. So, we have to perform the inverse operation. The inverse of squaring a number is to take the square root of that number. In this case, we should take the square root of both sides of this equation. Okay. The square root of 169 is equal to 13. And the square root of C squared is equal to C. Now, we can conclude that the value of C is equal to 13. We just figured out, using the Pythagorean theorem, the missing leg of a right triangle. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the triangle. A triangle is a polygon which has 3 angles.
Hello students, today we will listen about two-dimensional figure, especially its rectangle. The characteristic and properties of rectangle, it has 4 sides, where the 2 sides are opposite each other of equal and parallel. It has 4 right angles that are equal, which is 90 degrees.
Now let's discuss about the exponent. Okay, for example, 2 to the power of 2 all to the power of 3 is equal to 2 to the power of 2 times 3. This is maybe ambiguous for students. Students may write like this, 2 to the power of 2 times 3 or 2 to the power of 2 times 3. So the teacher should write it in the whiteboard.
Okay, the next material is about characteristic of square. Okay, my students in here, the characteristic of square, the square has 4 sides. Okay, the square has 4 sides and 4 right angles
second practice problem where we have to find the value of A. Since this problem also involves the length of a right triangle, so we can use the Pythagorean theorem here. So A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. We know that C is the length of the hypotenuse, so we can substitute 5 to the C, 5 squared. And B is equal to 4, so 4 and A. And then we can solve this equation. A squared plus 16 is equal to 25, and A squared plus 16 minus 16 is equal to 25 minus 16. Okay, so we get A squared is equal to 9, and we can take the square root, and then we get A is equal to 3. Okay.
Okay students, today we will lesson about two-dimensional figure, especially about rectangle. Rectangle is two-dimensional figure that has 4 sides, where the 2 sides of opposite side are equal and parallel. And then the rectangle has 4 right angles are equal to 90 degrees.
Okay guys, let's solve this problem. We are asked to determine the length of AC. Now we are given an angle, we are given a triangle with one angle is equal to 90 degrees. So we can conclude that the triangle ABC is a right triangle. And then we can use the Pythagorean theorem here. Okay, based on the Pythagorean theorem, A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. I'm sorry. We can remember that in Pythagorean theorem, the sum of the square of 2 shortest sides of a right triangle is equal to the square of the longest side of the right triangle. That the value or the length of AC is equal to P square root 5.